What is up, you guys? My name is Roman, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. And today I'm going to be watching and reacting to 20 worst moments in Doctor Who, according to you, by Who Culture. This is from a little while ago. I haven't reacted to a Who Culture video in a bit, but thought I'd just experiment and just react to some of their more videos. I've seen some of their other videos in my own time, so make sure to go subscribe to Who Culture. The link will be in the description below. Um, they make Doctor Who videos where they talk about stuff and Doctor Who related. And yeah, let's get started.
The Doctor once said that every life is a pile of good and bad things, and the same is true of Doctor Who itself. A little while ago, we shared our least favourite moments in the modern series, and now we thought it would be fun to hear what you think. I'm Ellie for Who Culture, and these are the 20 worst moments in modern Doctor Who, according to you.
Okay, so according to the fans, I may or may not agree with most of these, but we'll see.
Coming in at number 20, the Scribble Monster, Fear Her. Fear Her was going to make it onto this list somehow, but the daftest moment of all has to be the moment Rose opens a garage door and is attacked by a great big ball of scribbly wibbly nothing. There's
I actually don't mind this scene. Like I totally get why people don't like this, but I actually think it's not that bad. The effects haven't actually haven't have aged have aged well. They actually still kind of hold up to me. Uh but I can see why it's a little too goofy for Doctor Who. I mean, Doctor Who has goofy moments, but I guess people just don't like how it's just like put as just like a scribble monster. So I mean, I get it, but it's not that bad. Then again, it's only number 10 on this list, so definitely not the worst
no two ways about it. The effect
of all time.
just looks naff. The blend between live action and animated elements is horrendous, and the way the scribble suddenly shrinks when the Doctor freezes it is a bit of a joke. And what sort of threat was this thing meant to pose? It's funny watching the Doctor's hero moment as he runs to the rescue, coat flapping, Sonic in hand, when Rose has all the fear in her eyes of someone swatting away a fly. This one definitely should have been left on the drawing board. Drawing board, you see what I did there?
Womp womp. Mom joke of the year.
I'll see myself out. Number 19, Empire of Flashbacks, Empire of Death. One of
Oh,
the biggest problems with the most recent era of Doctor Who was its over-reliance on nostalgia, including excessive use of flashbacks. Nowhere was this more obvious than in Empire of Death, when the Doctor and co literally watch clips from Pyramids of Mars on a television monitor. It's one thing to do repeats or re-edits, so fans can brush up on their knowledge of past stories in their own time, but having characters literally just re-watch a story from 1975 feels cheap and lazy, and more
well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I guess it's cuz like I don't know, they're like just like a bunch of exposition and you just want to get to the adventure and the battles and stuff, but I actually think they spent a decent amount of time on this. And yes, it may just be them watching the old episode of Sutek at this point, but I think it's cuz like they had like a big relaunch for Shooty's era. Um I think it was cuz like, you know, it was when they were bringing in new audience to the show. So so I think it's great explanation to new audience of who Sutek is. So I don't totally agree on this one.
than that, it suggests that knowledge of that story is essential and risks alienating new viewers. New series Sutek needed to stand on his own feet. Or pause. But the clip show stuff dragged it all down and ultimately ended up
Another bad joke down the hill.
pleasing no one. Number 18, The Reapers, Father's Day. Even an episode as critically acclaimed as Father's Day isn't beyond reproach when it comes to Doctor Who lowlights. The idea of creatures who are drawn to wounds in time isn't a bad one, and the
Yeah, come on. These things are awesome. I don't know why you guys don't like this.
Grim Reaper inspired design, complete with scythe like tails, is pretty cool, but the CGI is not entirely convincing. And beyond expanded media appearances,
True.
they've literally never come back. Given the number of time paradoxes we've had in the years since, it's weird that we've never seen them again.
Yeah, true. Exactly. Plot hole. Actually, you know what? This one makes sense. So I guess I can agree with you on this one, just for that. I can agree with other fans on this one.
Particularly in the Moffat era, where time paradoxes were more common than the bloody Daleks. Above all, they just
Yeah.
feel like a bit of an afterthought, which is hardly surprising given that they were only actually added to Father's Day in later drafts, following concerns that it lacked a conventional monster of the week. Speaking of the visuals of the show, we know that Doctor Who fans love to design their own custom title sequences and other amazing projects.
Uh-oh, is this an ad?
Which is where our
Yep, it's a sponsor. Hold on. I'm going to skip ahead. Okay.
Through our link. Number 16. Ryan plays Call of Duty, The Ghost Monument. With its sunny South Africa location filming, The Ghost Monument is one beautiful looking episode. But the moment everything comes to a halt so Ryan can go and pretend he's in Call of Duty isn't the greatest thing ever, is it? In pretty much every single regard, it feels wrong, as if we've briefly strayed into a completely different TV show. Aside from the question of whether Ryan would seriously be stupid enough to do something like this in the first place, why doesn't the Doctor try harder to stop him? Oh, that's why. Chibnall needed a moment to further hammer home the guns are bad message, and forcing this sequence of utter nonsense.
Yeah, this one I can totally agree on. It was a good episode, but this is the one bad scene from it.
Was the best he could do to make that happen. The bullets versus brawn thing just feels like a very textbook oversimplified take on the Doctor's moral code.
Yeah, that I can agree on.
No one's defending Ryan's actions, but it does all feel a tad patronising and pointless. Surely there are better ways to show that the Doctor doesn't approve of guns. Also,
Exactly, like in The Doctor's Daughter, for example, as you just showed.
these sniper bots are meant to be highly skilled, precise, and effective guards, but they can't shoot this human when he's right in front of them? Come on.
I know, right? Their aim is worse than stormtroopers, apparently.
Number 15, the Bogeyman reveal, Space Babies. Cast your minds back to May 2024.
Also, sorry, but oh yeah, wait.
Human when he's right in front of them? Come on. Number 15, the Bogeyman reveal, Space Babies. Cast your
Oh yeah, this one, a lot of people hate on Space Babies. I personally, oh yeah, I can agree on this one for sure. Like, I hated on Space Babies, and I'm sure a lot of people also did the same.
minds back to May 2024. It was Doctor Who's big Disney launch, and they decided to go with a double bill comprising the Beatles and Talking Babies.
Yeah.
We then get to the big reveal of Space Babies, that the Bogeyman stalking the corridors of the
Also, sorry, but I'm American, and we pronounce bogies as boogies. It's not the bogeyman, it's the boogeyman.
baby station is, drumroll please, made of bogies. Beyond feeling far too childish for Doctor Who, it's just the most obvious twist imaginable, yet it's treated like it was written by bloody M. Night Shyamalan. Then there's all the it's snot / it's not pun stuff too, which was just painful to watch. This isn't a CBBC show, guys. The sentiment of the Doctor saving the bogeyman is nice enough, but we've seen it all before a million trillion times. You have to
Disgusting.
wonder what the thought process was here. Did they really think, oh yes, new viewers are going to tune into this and think this is exactly the type of show we want to watch? It's honestly baffling to think that the people at the top all thought that this was a good first episode. Number 14.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it was just such a horrible episode. Like, everything about it. And just like, and from like, just like the talking babies to with the bad CGI mouths to the Doctor trying to save the boogeyman. Like, I hated how we just went from like this like crazy, it's this crazy monster that we're all afraid of, but then suddenly you feel bad, the Doctor feels bad for it and he wants to save it. Like, sure, they gave explanation of like the Doctor is the last of his kind and he feels that the boogeyman is the same, but But no, that just felt kind of stupid and just rushed in my opinion. Like you didn't even give us any time to feel sorry for it. Like it's just stupid. The only good part about that episode was the opening scene with the dinosaurs. But even that loses points because it gets ruined by a stupid butterfly effect joke. Pointless episode. Anyways, enough of me ranting about space babies.
The 12th Doctor's midlife crisis, The Magician's Apprentice. Whether or not you agree that they went too far with the 12th Doctor's abrasive personality in Series 8, the transition into Series 9 was something else entirely. It would have made sense for 12 to mellow gradually over time, but instead we go straight from stern alien to cool, carefree granddad, as if he's had an off-screen midlife crisis. See the rock star entrance in The Magician's Apprentice, where he's playing guitar on top of a tank in a medieval castle while wearing shades. We don't know that they're Sonic at this point, so he just looks like one of those twits who wears sunglasses indoors. Almost
Yeah. As much as I love the scene, as much as badass it is as it is, I guess the Doctor not wanting to change the past or whatever, like not wanting to affect history, I guess it's all gone with this Doctor in this case, in this scene, or at least in this scene, because he's just completely thrown it away. He's showing them a tank and while shredding a guitar and telling them and teaching them modern slang like the word dude.
everything about him is different, from his more casual attire to the fact that he's happy to hug Clara. And don't get us started on the whole dude thing. We're meant to
Exactly.
believe that this has all come on because the Doctor's scared he's going to die, or something. It's not the absolute worst thing ever to be put on screen, but it's definitely a bit weird. And you can see why people wouldn't click with it. Number 13, the Goblin song, The Church on Ruby Road. Cast your mind back.
Well, this I actually didn't mind. I thought, don't get me wrong, it's stupid, but I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's an enjoyable moment. I mean, and I'm not even that much of a musical person, but personally, I think Doctor Who needs a little bit more. It's nice to see dance numbers in Doctor Who every once in a while, you know?
To December 2023. Doctor Who's 60th anniversary specials are hurtling towards their climax, and we're gearing up for the 15th Doctor's debut. The BBC announced that the upcoming Christmas special was going to feature a song sung by baby-eating goblins,
Oh, they announced it when that happened? I didn't know that.
which naturally everyone who'd be watching with family was thrilled about. And
When it was about to air, I did not know that. That's weird.
sure enough, come Christmas Day, the cringe was palpable for many. And maybe that was the intent, not least because of the lyrics. Such gems as baby butter for the baby scones and eat with our teeth better than beef. And the Grammy goes to... no. Looking back, what we
I
can
don't like that. It's actually I like those lyrics because like they're very catchy and just like, well, not necessarily catchy, but like they're very like it's very absurd, but like at the same time it's very interesting. Like that's creative and and in a way it's utterly terrifying, especially when you get to the Goblin King part. Like holy god, that is one ugly beast.
now say about the Goblin song is that it feels rather forced. Doctor Who can be anything, but this goes so far into Disney musical territory that it barely feels like Doctor Who anymore, while Russell T Davis's mission to make the show a viral hit feels more like the driving influence here, rather than, the actual story. We can also say that the Doctor and Ruby somehow keeping the song going, picking up the tune perfectly and inventing new lyrics on the spot, doesn't make a lick of sense. I mean,
This part I actually loved even better. This was totally awesome. Well, kind of. I mean, I wouldn't say awesome actually, but it was still interesting to see nonetheless.
is Doctor Who just magic now? Does have a catchy tune though, to be fair.
Exactly.
A definite toe tapper.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm being fair on it.
Number 12, The Diseased People Attack New Earth. Doctor Who has had some truly incredible transformation sequences over the years. Dr. Constantine becoming a gas mask zombie, Mr. Halpin turning into a nude. That one was grim. Then at the other end of the scale, you've got the infections inflicted by the diseased people in New Earth. First, there's the sequence where they infect Sister Jat. It should be a huge moment as the diseased people finally get their own back on the creatures who imprisoned them, but everything about it looks so fake that it just makes you laugh instead. Equally laughable
You sure about that? Because looking at them is making me itchy. Forgot how gross they looked in that episode.
is the woman outside the lift who stays frozen to the spot as the diseased people infect her, making basically no attempt to escape. And the shot that follows Matron Casp's infection, where we're meant to believe she's falling down a lift shaft, but the angle and speed are completely off. It's a shame because the visual effects elsewhere in the episode, like the diseased people themselves, are pretty good. And yes, it is a bit harsh to be ragging on CGI from 20 years ago, but it is pretty funny, so we do give it points for that.
Okay, I guess so.
Number 11. Splice. Boom. Stephen Moffat's 2024 comeback episode, Boom, was generally deemed to be a success, and certainly an improvement on the double bill that opened season 1. But
Oh yeah, that I can agree on.
there was one thing that got on people's nerves. Splice. The first person to stumble upon the Doctor and Ruby, Splice adds to their problems as soon as she hears her late father's hologram and doesn't let up until the very end. Which is kind of the point. The whole story is about a situation that goes from bad to worse, with the Doctor constantly one false move away from death. But Splice's actions feel so forced that the situation loses credibility at points. Most notably when she goes for a nice sit down right as the proverbial is hitting the fan partway through the episode. And did we really need to hear her talk about her daddy every 5 seconds? Part of the problem is that she's played by a relatively older actor, but written as though she's about 4 years old. And for a kid who lives in a war zone, she just seems a bit dim. It's difficult
Yeah, she was pretty annoying. I did not care for her in this episode. That was the one bad thing about this episode.
to imagine a version of the story without her, but it's a shame that she couldn't have been a bit more believable. Number 10, the Vesperform, the Unicorn and the Wasp. Credit where credit's due. The resolution to the Unicorn and the Wasp's murder mystery is actually pretty smart. And the Doctor acting all Poirot as he uncovers the truth? I mean, what more could you want? But you simply cannot overlook that damn buzzing when Reverend Golightly reveals himself as the Vesperform. This is one of those things that you have to applaud them for trying, but it just doesn't work at all, does it? We get a bloke struggling to say words containing an S or a Z and awkwardly shaking his head to the side, all while illuminated by a pink light which is coming from where exactly? It's really funny to watch in fairness, though that clearly wasn't the intention. And not to go full-on science nerd here, but buzzing noises don't even come from a wasp's mouth, rather the rapid beating of their wings. But, that's by the by. The Vesperform
Yep, I would point that out too, I guess. I would.
itself does actually look pretty awesome though. Certainly one of those 2005 era special effects that has held up very well.
Exactly. That's what I was saying earlier about the scribble. But though this one's I consider way better than it. Like the wasp, it's pretty cool and terrifying.
Number 9. Oh my god, is that it? The Reality War. I mean, what more is there to say? He came, he saw, he underwhelmed, and then he left. In honour of Omega's cameo, this entry will be significantly shorter than you'd expect. Moving on. Number 8. Humany Woomany, The Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe. The Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe does actually have some touching moments, from the Doctor's "what's the point in them being happy now" speech to his reunion with the Ponds at the end. However, it's no coincidence that it often languishes at the bottom of Christmas special rankings. The ending is the part that most often gets ridiculed, and with good reason. Madge's husband Reg being alive and well feels a tad contrived after all that. It's a stereotypically Christmassy happy ending, and Stephen Moffat's heart was definitely in the right place, but you can't help but feel underwhelmed by it all. It's nothing compared to the Doctor's reaction though, with Moffat riffing on his immortal phrase timey-wimey by having him say the utter abomination that is humany-woomany. At least timey-wimey sort of means something, or at least it did to begin with as a way of explaining events happening out of order in Blink. But humany-woomany? Nope, that really is just nonsense.
Yeah, it's cringe. I guess that's another reason why I ranked it low on my ranking of all 15 Doctor Who Christmas specials so far. That was just bad.
Dealing with someone who's been around for thousands of years here, and this is the best he's got? I mean, it's hardly t-shirt material, is it? Number 7. Robertson shoots the spider, Arachnids in the UK. In terms of good points, Arachnids in the UK has some cool Sheffield location filming and some honestly quite impressive CGI
Ugh, that's terrifying.
spiders. On the flip side, it's also got a highly controversial ending, partially because Ryan saving the day with a Stormzy track is absurd, and partially because of the ethics surrounding Robertson's mercy killing of the mother spider.
Yeah, as much as I don't like spiders, I still feel pretty bad for that poor giant spider that got shot to death by Robertson. Like, yes, it was still dying anyways, and it wouldn't have made a difference if the doctor suffocated it to death like she did to all the other spiders, but come on, really?
The episode is so preoccupied with presenting him as the monster that it doesn't stop to consider the view that putting the mother spider out of her misery might actually be kinder than letting her starve to death. As with the Ghost
That's true. Yeah.
Monuments Call of Duty scene, it's another case of the show being so determined to paint the Doctor in a specific moral light that it ignores all other factors and nuance. The same is true of the other mutated spiders. Were they eventually going to starve to death too? Or could the Doctor have given them a new life elsewhere? Either way, their fates are never clarified. The episode just ends abruptly, almost as if it's deliberately avoiding the difficult questions, which it almost certainly was. As a result, the episode comes across as oversimplified and self-righteous.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. God, I hate this episode.
Number 6. Bi-Generation. In the lead up to The Giggle, a leak surfaced stating that Ncuti Gatwa's new Doctor was going to sprout out of David Tennant's, an idea so daft that fans thought it couldn't possibly be true. And then it actually happened. Bi-Generation initially seemed like it was meant to be a bit of fun, a spin on the idea that the various Doctors are all the same person with a cool visual to boot. But ultimately it just opened a convoluted can of worms, particularly the part about the 14th Doctor sticking around on Earth, and Russell T Davies' suggestion that the Bi-Generation retroactively happened to all the other Doctors as well. It also destroys the weight and finality of regeneration, which damages the very fabric of Doctor Who. Every time we've had an Earth invasion story since, fans have been asking, well, where's 14? And while it's pretty obvious why David Tennant's not shown up again every 5 minutes, in universe, there's no excuse. He's literally right there. We then had the opposite scenario with the Ranis Bi-Generation.
Yeah, personally, I think Bi-Generation is an alright thing, as long as you only do it once, especially with the Doctor. Like, I'm glad he only Bi-generated once, and when Ncuti regenerated, it was just a normal regeneration, but still, I hated it when I didn't want other Time Lords to Bi-generate personally. Like, I didn't like it when the Rani Bi-generated, because then she was over. Because then the Mrs. Flood Rani was overshadowed by her other incarnation, and then the idea of, I think it's pretty dumb that Russell T Davies said that all the other Doctors Bi-generated. It caused like a paradox of that happening. I just don't think that's a good thing. Like, I thought that was pretty dumb. But other than that, it's a cool thing, as long as you just use it once.
Where Mrs. Flood had already been living on Earth like 14. The problem on this occasion, besides an infinitely worse transition effect, was that there were now 2 Ranis vying for our attention.
Exactly. We had all this build up to who Mrs. Flood is, and this is what you did with her.
With Mrs. Flood basically becoming subordinate to Archie Panjabi's new incarnation, despite us following her for 2 seasons at that point. I mean, what a waste. Basically, can we please seal Bi-Generation in a box in the depths of Unit Tower now? Thank you very much. Number 5. Basically the whole thing, the Battle of Ranskor Avkolos.
Oh yes, for sure. Hated this episode by a milestone.
We've had lots of disappointing Doctor Who finales over the years, but none have been as much of a nothing burger or as difficult to spell as the Battle of Ranskor something or other. Where do we even begin with this one? It felt more like a regular episode than a big concluding showstopper, partially because Series 11 didn't have much in the way of an arc, and partially because Tim Shaw just isn't a finale-worthy villain. If you're going to bring back the Stenza, why not show them en masse? Why not build them up more throughout the series, beyond that single mention in the Ghost Monument? Instead, it was just another solo outing for old Timmy boy, plus some random sniper bots they found in the cupboard, which kind of makes sense, but also just feels like the props department had run out of money, which, let's be real, it probably had.
Yeah, and instead they just use those discount Cybermen. That's what I call them.
Even Chris Chibnall isn't a big fan of this one, admitting that the version that reached screens was a first draft. And really, that says it all.
Yep. Also hated the ending. I did not like how they didn't kill Tim Shaw. I know the doctor just didn't want that to happen, but I just find that just so stupid. Like that she didn't let Graham kill Tim Shaw, but then she found but then she was like but then she said he was the strongest person she had ever met when he trapped him in a in a horrible prison. Like that was just horrible. Like I personally I think it would have been better if not Graham killed him or if he was trapped in an inescapable hell. I think they should have just had another villain kill him. Like maybe have one of those discount Cybermen come in and shoot him. That would have been better, personally. Just saying, that's my preference. But anyways,
Number 4, The Doctor Strips, The Time of the Doctor. The 11th Doctor's swan song had a lot riding on it, given that it was effectively set up in the 11th hour over 3 years ago. It had to be big and epic and exciting, a fitting end for a much-loved Doctor. So naturally, Stephen Moffat decided to have the first 15 minutes consist mostly of his trademark weird sex comedy. First, we actually see the Doctor naked, with a carefully framed TARDIS console concealing Matt Smith's midriff. Then there's the whole gag of the Doctor and Clara appearing clothed to themselves but naked to everyone else, which is sort of a little bit funny, maybe? For Christmas Day family viewing, it's all just a bit weird. It's almost more distracting than the fact that Clara's dad is played by a new actor who looks nothing like the one used previously. It's frustrating because once we get past those first 15 minutes, the bulk of the episode is fantastic. The Time of the Doctor is rarely placed very high in Regeneration story rankings, and maybe its dodgy opening scenes are the reason why. Number 3, The Doctor is Space Jesus, Last of the Time Lords. Doctor Who bends its own rules all the time, but the ending of the Series 3 finale is a prime example of the show taking things a little too far. The visual of the Doctor de-aging while bathed in blue light, a literal glow-up, is just about acceptable. And then they make him fly. Combined with the prayer thing, plus the Doctor forgiving the Master, there are some pretty blatant religious parallels here, leading many fans to dub this version of the Doctor Space Jesus. And while basically presenting the Doctor as Jesus probably isn't the best idea, it just looks really daft, which in a story where we've already had the Doctor become Dobby is saying something. Like, are we meant to believe that all these prayers have made him young again and given him the power of flight and made him immune to the effects of the laser screwdriver? If it was that easy, surely the Doctor would be hooked up to 15 satellites all the time like some sort of weird Wi-Fi junkie.
honestly, I'm not sure about this one. Like I get it, but I don't think I would rank it higher, like maybe number 9. I don't know. Or number or sorry, number I also earlier said the scribble thing is only a number 10. I meant number 20. I would probably rank it at number 19 maybe, but I totally get it. It just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Like first the Doctor becomes Mr. Burns, then he becomes Dobby, then he becomes Space Jesus. Anyways,
T. Davis loves a Deus Ex Doctor Who finale, and this is easily the weakest one from his original tenure. Number 2, Sometimes I Think We're All Your Children, The Reality War.
oh yeah, this totally got me. I think this would almost be. Wait,
Deus Ex Doctor
what rank was this?
Who finale, and this is easily the weakest one from his original tenure. Number 2. Sometimes I think we're all your children.
Okay, number 2. I think I would put this at number 1 personally, but whatever. It's close enough.
The reality war. Nearly a year on, and we're still not over the reality war's hastily rewritten ending. It wasn't all bad. Jodie Whittaker turning up again was a joy, and the Doctor's interactions with Poppy are kind of touching. But then there was the character assassination of Belinda Chandra, the strange choice to regenerate the Doctor into Billie Piper, and by far the most mortifying moment of all, Kate Lethbridge Stewart telling the Doctor that she sometimes thinks we're all his children. The idea that the Doctor saves all of us, as Kate puts it, isn't untrue, but everything about the way it's conveyed here is farcical. From Gemma Redgrave's totally straight line delivery to Murray Gold's ridiculously over-the-top score, to the fact that it's followed by a load of characters just staring at the Doctor in silence. It also just doesn't make sense. What do you mean you're his children? Why would those words form in your brain? What are you trying to say? It's also a...
Yeah, and I also didn't like, don't get me wrong, the Doctor's interactions with Poppy is cute, but it just felt so unnecessarily. And I'm not against the Doctor being a parent at all. He's been a parent before, but come on. And the fact that he goes along with it, or he goes to that alternate reality. Like, I made a video on this. Like, Ruby Sunday basically caused his regeneration. But anyways.
Little odd that Kate moves back to being a side character in awe of the Doctor rather than a formidable force in her own right. Although the war between the land and the sea would certainly change that back again. And number 1.
Well, okay, phew. For a second I thought you were going to spoil it. But thankfully it didn't, because I live in America and it still hasn't aired here yet.
The burping bin, Rose. Although Doctor Who's 2005 revival was an undeniable success, there were definitely some teething issues. Chiefly an inconsistent tone, where the show would mostly be grounded and dramatic, but occasionally very, very silly. Of all the examples in that first year, the most jarring is by far the burping bin in Rose. This is the go-to sequence for many fans when naming their least favourite moments in the revival, and it's easy to see why it's so unfondly remembered. Again, it's a case of CGI having not aged well, which is a fair enough criticism, but you also can't blame them for the technology they had at the time. But what you can't forgive is that someone then thought, you know what this needs? A great big comedy belch. This was the show's big return to our screens, a chance to prove that it wasn't just a silly old hokey sci-fi show and deserved to be taken seriously. So to include toilet humour of this level was potentially a bit of a risk to the show's survival. I mean, just look at the juvenile tone of Space Babies and how that damaged the perception of the Disney era. It's the kind of thing that would be totally at home in the upcoming CBeebies animated series. But
I forgot about that.
Please, never unleash anything like this on television Doctor Who ever again. Thank you. Thank you again.
Okay, that's it for this video. This is like over 20 minutes long. My goodness, this is a long video, but nonetheless, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, possibly share it with a friend, and if you're new, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, bye-bye.